well. So someone asked me an amazing question. There was just like, sorry, I keep thinking the camera's over there, Sylvia. How is being dyslexic affected your job? The funny thing is, right, in the UK, you need to understand being dyslexic or being autistic is classed as a learning disability. Like, how insulting is that? Like, you've got to think now, oh, by the way, you think a little bit differently to the other people. That is a learning disability. It's not a learning disability, is it? It's not. It's just like, oh, well, you think different to the other 99% in the world. And you just need to understand. You need to welcome that and just see it for like the true potential it really is. So I'm just really blessed that I really invest in my personal development, that I only discovered last year that Shark Tank, because by reading Damon John's book. And one thing I will always say, right, in every book you should read or listen to, I'm big audiobook, because obviously I'm dyslexic, so I'll tell you what type of dyslexic I am. And I'm laughing now because I'll explain. So I'm ridiculously slow at reading and my writing. So I'm brilliant at maths because it's like, true or false, and it's really great. But my English is, my sentences don't make sense. And I actually process things in my brain quicker than I could speak to them. So as you just noticed, if you've watched this vlog and you've seen, my brain is like a Mad Max. So it goes ping, 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 ping. Is why, for me, I have to have my daily journaling. I understand who I am. And then I focus on my goals of like, one thing, the time game. So I just focus in on that and I just go for that, and that's all. And so I was reading the Shark Tank, right? Not Shark Tank, but Damon John, right? Who's the Shark Tank judge. And I found out 3 of the 4 judges are all dyslexic. I found out when I was 21 years old. 21 mind, so I went all the years throughout school without being dyslexic. I still had an A and 2 B's at A level. I had an A in maths, B in IT, and a B in economics, and I'm dyslexic. Okay, I had GCSEs. I made it into like the 4th best university in the UK for economics, and I'm dyslexic. Okay, you gotta remember, right? So people, when they look at you, they're like, oh, but you're dyslexic. It's like, well, I'm either like ridiculously good or you're ridiculously bad. So you know what I'm saying? So you just need to understand that you are your own biggest fear. So when I found out that I was dyslexic, it did hit me all of a sudden. I don't know why, because someone put a label on you. You're like, oh, I'm just so sad. La, la, la. And then I had to write down because it was too late to get any help. So I just had to have a note that said, because I watched The Hobbit at the time when it came out, and it was just like, so what if, you're dyslexic? Adapt. Because that's what they said to, I can't remember the character's name, where he's like, I've never used a sword. They're like, adapt. And it always stayed with me and it always made me smile. So I'm big on film references. But in America, I think 80% of the developers who work in Google, Silicon Valley, are all autistic. So they don't class it as a learning disability, so catch yourself there. Dyslexic people are proven to be, it's a massive trait of entrepreneurs. So in my job, considering my job is very intense, is vast like an ocean, you're on projects, I think being dyslexic is one of my biggest strengths. And it's clearly showed how I'm very different from the other people. So I'm a cross-functional consultant. That has allowed me, because of my ability to love kind of like an entrepreneurship feel where I'm just like, it's a vast ocean. I absolutely adore it. I've gone from finance to data to procurement to quality, and I will just pick up anything, and that's what I really love. So I feel like it's been one of my best strengths, and it's allowed me to be one of the best consultants. Just because, for example, our company, they say they want people to be well-rounded consultants who want to go at everything. And even one of the partners said to me, we want people to be like you. And I'm dyslexic. I don't walk around being like, I'm dyslexic. I own it now because I found out. I'm just like, yeah, that makes complete sense why I'm so good. I will say, obviously my downfall with being dyslexic is, you know, my writing ability. Yeah, sometimes my sentences probably don't make sense to people. But let me tell you what, there's plenty of people in the industry, especially like we get a lot of consultants, you know, from offshore. So obviously their first language isn't English, and their English can be bad, some of them. But it doesn't matter, because as long as you make the system work, it's okay. So you've got to understand, right? So I write essays, you know, I write solution design documents, functional design document, PowerPoints, everything. And no one's been like, well, your English is so bad, throw it out. No one has never ever said that to me. But like every document, usually you get a peer review. So find someone who loves English and just be like, listen, you know, just be upfront, be like, listen, I'm dyslexic. To me, this all makes sense. Can you read over with me? You know, and just do that. That's what peer review's for. So understand that it is a great strength. Start owning it and see where your weaknesses is, and then try and like mitigate that with someone. I obviously work a lot better video form because, you know, I'll do grammar mistakes if I write, and I just don't like writing that much. But I still, even though I'm dyslexic, I wrote a book over Christmas. So do not put a limit on yourself, or other people put limits on you. Just don't do that, okay? And just understand, like, Gary Vee, CEO of his company, I think he probably had like an E and F. He was an E and F student, probably in English too, you know? So, and he survived. So you can offshore that stuff as well, if you really need to. So I hope it really helped. Stick with video and audio form if your strength is not really English based as well. So that's why I'm like all video training. I do a lot of presentations, so I feel like as they know my presentation skills are really good, and obviously I set up the system, I do a lot of testing. I've got away with it a lot more, and because I really love to add extra value, I usually produce more than I need to, because then that allows me to pass that material over to the business. So I've never had anyone take me off a project because my English is bad. Hope it helps.